woodcraft, helping you make woodwork.
Do that. So we have these new products. They're called CA pen finishing bushings. Have any of you used them yet? I am going to use them today. How exciting! Oh. They look like these. One of the problems with CAing that you can encounter is that with the bushings on there, your project can tend to stick to the bushing. Well, that is not a problem. As you go and sand and polish it, you know, 9 times out of 10 you can take care of that. But if your bushing and your CA, excuse me, is too thick on the bushing, when you crack that bushing off, you will actually, around the edge of your wood blank, if you will chip that right off, and you'll have like little chip marks. So we don't like that. That's not good. So what these help you do is allow a surface that the CA glue cannot stick to, and allow you to get right there, right up to the edge. How exciting. I'm actually going to put one of my bushings back on here just to give it a buffer. Does anybody see that? Good. You know, they don't. They're slightly tapered, so you can get just about any blank you want on there, which is handy, because otherwise it'd be expensive buying those for every pen kit that is known to man out there. Now, there's a lot of videos on YouTube on how to put on a CA finish. Believe me, I've tried to study them all. And the best way that I have done it, and I have done it and then redone it and then redone it and redone it, is I start off with a thick, excuse me, back up. I start off with a medium CA glue on a paper towel. Turn this on. We don't need to go too fast. Yeah, that feels good. You put about a dime size amount, and you come in and I just rub it on. Just move it around, leave it like that, and then if I'm in a hurry, 1, 2, 3, done. It's dry. That's all you needed to do, and that's dry. Then I'll turn it over on this side, put on another dime size amount, rubbing it on, back and forth, just kind of wiping it off. 1, 2, 3, dry. This is accelerator. It instantly dries your glue. The other way is what I've done for years is, you know, put it on and walk away and do something else and come back and tap it and feel if it's dry. Well, this way you can do just about anything with CA. The sky's the limit. I do duck calls with CA now. I can do small pepper mills with CA now. As long as you put it on there, you smooth it around really quickly, then come in with your accelerator, it's dry, put on another coat. You can keep doing this coat. I'm already at 3 coats, which normally I wouldn't have even thought about starting the second one yet. Any questions so far? Exciting stuff. We're moving now.
Does it build up pretty quickly?
Mm-hmm. Sure does. Well, right now I'm at 6 coats. Now from here on, I've seen it many done, and some people find that 6 coats is plenty, you know, for a pen. Other people will stop this, let this dry, sand it down, get it to the sheen they want, and then they will put on another 5-6 coats. That, you get some beautiful pins that way that look like they were dipped in glass, but for today's demo, just know that you can do that, but we're not going to do that today. All dry. All right, so when you have your CA finish on there and it is dry, where you want to start off sanding, because there's going to be little bumps and valleys in there because of the glue, you're going to want to sand those flush back down. What I do is I start off with my Abernet down at that 400, 600, and then I start going through the micro meshes to get them where I need to go. Some people use their micro mesh and they will wet it, which is perfectly fine. But when I'm working on wood, I like to be able to feel what's going on, and with a wet micro mesh, I can't feel it. Any questions? None? Come on, I want to hear from somebody who hasn't said anything yet. Question is, when I wet sand, walnut oil or water? Water. It's just a preference. I'm trying to fix my shop up really nice, and I don't want walnut oil splattered all over my walls. It's getting there. And if you do get into using Abernet and you like it, I highly suggest you get a Sharpie and you write down what grit it is on the back. Because if it does happen to get away from you, that'll be one thing you'll want to know. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I can feel that it's really heating up. No, over and over and over. This is the first time I've used them. They're great. That was 1,500. We're going to 1,800. $2,400. $32. What's that?
I said somebody's going to be watching YouTube, seeing you do that, wonder why you were making so much noise.
Well, perhaps we'll edit this part out. And then we'll be sanding, and we're done.
Always wonder why it's so easy on YouTube. That's why.
Now, I love watching how-to videos on woodworking on YouTube. And I watched one last night in bed with my wife, and she was out in 3 minutes.
There are some of those. Really, the video can't be more than about 2.5, 3 minutes long unless it's a really complicated bit. Better to stick with techniques and work with
I think that's why they also break them up. Part 1.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for part 2.
What's really frustrating is when you watch a really good one and it says stay tuned for part 2, and then you see that the date the video was made was like, you know, I don't know, October 8th, 2007. You're like, oh shoot, I'm not going to find part 2 if I can't get to part 2 today.
And finalizing our polish with 12,000. I know, right? Blows your mind.
Man, he's a plant.
Let's take a look. Sometimes what you can get is why you would want to go in and go ahead and put on several more coats after you get to this point. It's very smooth, and once I put on the polish, it's just going to be beautiful. But you can see once in a while you get, because of this particular grain of wood, you'll get a little bit of valleys and hills within it, and the CA didn't quite fill that in. So I'm just going to put in just one more quick little coat and rub that on in. Hand turn it. Bring that up to sheen. Drink some water. After I get this done, I move on to the new polishes that we got in. For years I've been using one of the polishes that we have, which works fantastic. It's called Huts, and it is great. But we found this new product that I think it just kind of takes it up to the next level. And I'll show you those in a minute. It's these right here. And there's stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it will take this and make it almost glass-like. What's that? Huts. Yes. We have both of those products here. At this point with your finish, you're just kind of finding the little bumps and going back and forth, and sometimes it can take 15 minutes, sometimes a half hour. It's all your preference and where you want to go with this. So now, for sake of argument, we're going to start with step 1. A little goes a long way. Just a touch. That's all you need. Just rub it on, let it dry. I then turn it up to its maximum and wipe it off. Turn it back down and hit step 2. What's the question? Yes, it does. Is there a question from the back? You just like waving? Oh, that's nice looking. And what's the next step? 3, yes. 3 would be the correct answer. Thank you for playing. We're having too much fun. And looking good. Excuse me? This is called Fruit of the Loom.
The good stuff.
The good stuff, yes. We spare no expense here at Woodcraft Spokane. And there's our CA finish. Do you see how that pops? Nice. Now let's see how it comes off. Didn't take very long at all. Go ahead and pass that around. Take a look. I'll need it back to put it back together. Now the magic happens. And we have our finished pen.
How do you know how to keep it without measurement, what matches with the ends and top?
What's that? Bushings. Bushings. The bushings are perfectly lined up. Once put in their exact same place, once put in their place, they will be your guide and how far to turn that pen down. Is there any other questions? Any more? All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming today to Woodcraft Spokane to learn about how to turn a pen. And please come back. And my name is Joel, and have a great rest of your day.